Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam Stutis series. Continuing with Rudra Geet, today's shloka number 61 of chapter 24, canto 4. Once more. Yo maya yedam pururupaya srijat.
Yo mayayedam pururupaya srujad
Bibharti bhuya kshapayatya vikriyah.
vibharti bhuya kshapayatya vikriyaha
Yadbheda buddhis sadivatma dusthaya.
yadveda buddhi sadivatma dusthaya
Tvamatma tantram bhagavan pratimahi.
tvamatmatantram bhagavan pratimahi.
Word for word meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
Yaha,
Yaha,
one who,
one who,
Mayaya,
mayaya,
by his energy,
by his energy,
Idam,
idam,
this,
this,
Puru,
puru,
manifold,
manifold,
Rupaya,
rupaya,
manifestation,
manifestation,
Asrijat,
asrujat,
created,
created,
Bibharti,
bibharti,
maintains,
maintains,
Bhuyaha,
bhuyaha,
again,
again,
Trapayati,
kshapayati,
annihilates,
and highlights,
Avikriyaha,
avikriyaha,
without being altered,
without being altered,
Yat,
yet,
that,
that,
Bheda Buddhihi,
veda buddhihi,
sense of differentiation,
sense of differentiation,
Sat,
sat,
eternal,
eternal,
Eva,
iva,
like,
like,
Atma Dusthaya,
atma dusthaya,
giving trouble to oneself,
giving trouble to oneself,
Tvam,
tvam,
unto you,
unto you,
Atma Tantram,
atma tantram,
fully self-independent,
fully self-independent,
Bhagavan,
Bhagavan,
O Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead,
O Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Pratimahi,
Pratimahi,
I can understand.
I can understand.
Translation, my dear Lord,
My dear Lord,
you have manifold energies,
you have manifold energies,
and these energies are manifested in manifold forms.
and these energies are manifested in manifold forms.
With such energies,
With such energies,
you have also created this cosmic manifestation.
you have also created this cosmic manifestation.
And although you maintain it as if it were permanent,
And although you maintain it as if it were permanent,
you ultimately annihilate it.
you ultimately annihilate it.
Although you are never disturbed by such changes and alterations,
Although you are never disturbed by such changes and alterations,
the living entities are disturbed by them,
the living entities are disturbed by them,
and therefore they find the cosmic manifestation
and therefore they find the cosmic manifestation
to be different or separated from you.
to be different or separated from you.
My Lord, you are always independent, and I can clearly see this fact.
My Lord, you are always independent, and I can clearly see this fact.
Prabhupada writes a very detailed purport to this particular shloka. But just a precursor before we read the explanation by Prabhupada. So what is happening here? Lord Shiva has given his darshan to the Prachetas, the 10 sons of Prachina Barhi. Prachina Barhi is one of the Prajapatis, and Prajapati means procreation. Their main responsibility is procreation. And he needs his son's help as well to continue with that task of procreation. But the sons are so pious that they want to undertake some amount of austerity before they fulfill their father's instruction. Just like Lord Brahma did tapas before he could actually start the process of visarga, or secondary creation. So it's not a coincidence that they get to see the darshan of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva specifically chose them to benedict them because they were pious, they were well behaved, they were humble. So he does three things. Lord Shiva gives them his darshan. Second, he blesses them. And through the song, he is also imparting his instructions unto them. So this Rudra Gita is a set of instructions, not just for the Prachetas, but also for us. So far, we've heard Lord Shiva glorify the form of Lord Krishna. And now in this particular section, he's glorifying the potency of the Lord, the Shakti potency of the Lord. So now we'll read the purport. It is clearly explained that Lord Krishna has multi-energies, which can be grouped into three, namely the external energy, the internal energy, and the marginal energy. So if you read the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada explains this as Bahiranga Shakti, which we normally refer to as Maya Devi or Durga Devi. Antaranga Shakti, which we normally refer to as Yoga Maya, or you could say Subhadra Devi. And then the marginal energy or the Tathastha Shakti, which is the Jivatma. So the external energy is considered to be separated from the Lord and inferior. The internal energy is always with the Lord and with the Lord's devotees. And the marginal energy is superior to the external energy and for a certain period of time is separated from the Lord. There are also different cosmic manifestations, namely the spiritual world and the material world, as well as different types of living entities. Some living entities are conditioned and others are eternally free. So the Lord again talks about this in the Bhagavad Gita, where he talks about those that are Nitya Baddhas and those that are Nitya Siddhas. So a certain portion of the Jivatmas are Nitya Baddhas. It seems to be eternally conditioned, in the sense there doesn't seem to be any indication of when that Jivatma came under the control of Maya. In that sense, eternal. Some living entities are conditioned and others are eternally free. The eternally free living entities are called Nitya Mukta, for they never come in contact with the material energy. However, some living entities are conditioned in this material world, and thus they think themselves separated from the Supreme Lord. Due to their contact with the material energy, their existence is always troublesome. So as long as the conditioned soul associates with Maya Devi, they are going to experience this duality. There will be ups and downs in life. Being always in distress, the conditioned soul considers the material energy to be very much disturbing. This fact is explained by a Vaishnava Kavi or poet. Krishna bhuli se jiva anadi bahirmukha atayeva maya tare deya samsara dukha. When the living entity forgets the Supreme Lord and wants to enjoy himself independently, imitating the Supreme Lord, he is captured by the false notion that he is the enjoyer and is separated from the Supreme Lord. Essentially, the Jivatma wants to exercise their minute independence by trying to, as Prabhupada uses the phrase, lord it over material nature, try to control material nature. So they become these pretend Purushas. There is only one Purusha, but the Jivatma, although they are the Shakti potency of the Lord, are pretending to be something that's not natural for them. This material energy is therefore very much troublesome to the spiritual energy, the living entity. But the material energy is never troublesome to the Supreme Lord. That is emphasized also by Lord Shiva in this particular shloka. He's saying you are still independent. Indeed, for the Supreme Lord, both material and spiritual energy are the same. In this verse, I'll just repeat that statement. Indeed, for the Supreme Lord, both the material and spiritual energy are the same. It is the Jivatma that is experiencing the difference based on whether they're connected to the Lord or they're disconnected from the Lord. In this verse, Lord Shiva explains that the material energy is never troublesome to the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is always independent, but because the living entities are not independent, due to their false idea of becoming independently happy, the material energy is troublesome. Consequently, the material energy creates differentiation. That's where you experience duality. Because the Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand this, they want to be relieved from the material energy. However, because a Vaishnava philosopher is in full knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he finds no disturbance even in the material energy. This is because he knows how to utilize the material energy for the service of the Lord. In the government, the criminal department and the civil department may appear different in the eyes of the citizens, but in the eyes of the government, both departments are one and the same. The criminal department is troublesome for the criminal, but not for the obedient citizen. Similarly, this material energy is troublesome for the conditioned soul, but it has nothing to do with the liberated souls who are engaged in the service of the Lord. I was listening to a lecture earlier this morning by one senior Prabhuji in ISKCON Melbourne about this particular shloka. And he referenced Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Jaiva Dharma. I have not read the Jaiva Dharma, but essentially he was explaining Jaiva means the Jivatma here, the Dharma. So you could say, what is the ultimate Dharma of a Jivatma? So in this particular book, I was just looking it up on the internet. There are 40 chapters in this book. And Prabhu was explaining that there are a certain set of chapters from chapter 13 to chapter 25 that talk about in detail the three energies of the Lord, the Bahiranga Shakti, the Antaranga Shakti, and the Tathastha Shakti. How these three Shaktis influence the liberated souls, how they influence in essence, the pure devotees, that is one. How they influence the conditioned souls, and how they influence the eternally liberated souls. In the sense that liberated souls also come into the cosmos in order to do the Lord's job. And how these three energies also impact Prakriti. So, three categories broadly: the liberated souls, the conditioned souls, and the three energies of the Lord, which I will explain, that also influence Prakriti itself. So, the three main energies of the Lord are Sandhini, Samvit, and Hladini Shaktis. The Sandhini Shakti or potency of the Lord represents the Chit feature of the Lord, which is the concept of being eternal. In the sense, the Jivatma is eternal. The Jivatma has always existed. The Samvit potency of the Lord reflects the Chit potency of the Lord, which means being all knowledgeable. All knowledgeable means it will include the sum total of everything that is spiritual and material. And then the Hladini Shakti, which represents the Ananda potency of the Lord. So essentially the Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Ananda means experiencing transcendental bliss. So these three, knowledge, eternality, knowledge, and bliss. How these three Shaktis influence the liberated soul, the conditioned soul, and Prakriti itself. This is explained in Jaiva Dharma in those chapters that I was talking about. So these are the three Shakti potencies of the Lord. And each Shakti potency is represented by a different aspect of the Lord as well, which we will not go into today. So continuing with Prabhupada's purport. Through the Purusha avatar Mahavishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead created the whole cosmic manifestation. Simply by breathing out all the universes, the Lord creates and maintains the cosmic manifestation as Lord Vishnu. Then, as Sankarshana, he annihilates the cosmic manifestation. Yet, despite the creation, maintenance, and destruction of the cosmos, the Lord is not affected. The various activities of the Lord must be very disturbing to the tiny living entities. But since the Lord is supremely great, he is never affected. Lord Shiva or any other pure devotee can see this clearly without being blinded by Vedha Buddhi or differentiation. For a devotee, the Lord is the supreme spirit soul. Since he is supremely powerful, his various powers are also spiritual. For a devotee, there is nothing material. For material existence only means forgetfulness of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So thus, Prabhupada concludes the purport here. So what does this mean for a pure devotee who comes into the material world for the sake of doing the Lord's seva, whatever seva has been assigned to them? Does that mean a pure devotee never experiences the duality when they come into this cosmos? The answer is they do experience duality. They will experience ups and downs. But then we said pure devotees are not touched by Maya. So what does this mean? How do you understand this in a deeper way? It is not that Prabhupada never fell sick. He never got a heart attack. He got heart attack. So it is not that they don't experience the frailties imposed on them by Maya Devi, but it is the way they respond to it. That is what deems them as a pure devotee. So a pure devotee will look at every single challenging situation as the sheer mercy of the Lord. And every successful aspect of their life is also the mercy of the Lord. So for them, they don't say, if the Lord is kind to me, he's merciful. If he's unkind to me, his mercy potency has stopped. So that is the difference between us conditioned souls and how pure devotees look at it. In other words, a pure devotee doesn't say, my dear Krishna, as long as you are sending me nice devotees to preach because that's what you've asked me to do, you're sending me nice temples so that we can construct temples to get the Jivatmas to come and attend classes, to take part in festivals, then I think you're being merciful. But then when you put me in trouble, I want good health so I can continue to preach. But if I don't have good health, that means you're no longer merciful to me. This is not how the pure devotee thinks at all. In spite of their challenging health situations, they will still continue. So when Prabhupada was, at the end of his material manifestation there in Vrindavan, the last 6 months he did not eat at all. Although his disciples begged and pleaded with him, he was barely having 2 tablespoons of juice every once in a while. So no solids at all. So when they had doctors come to see him, the doctors told Prabhupada's disciples that, he is only skin and bones, there's no flesh. When there is no flesh in your body and you only have skin and bones, it's a very, very painful condition for the Jivatma. So it's extremely painful. But if you've ever watched videos of Srila Prabhupada, there is one very, very famous video of Prabhupada. I think maybe a couple of days before he leaves his body, or maybe even the same day, I do not know, where he's still dictating the purports to Srimad Bhagavatam to his disciple, and they're recording it. Even in that most painful condition, Prabhupada was focused on doing his duty to please Krishna. He was not worried about the pain that he was undergoing. So this is a sign of the Jivan Muktas. They are liberated. They've come here. It is not that they will not experience pain and suffering. It is how they respond to that pain and suffering that tells us that they are pure devotees. Whereas a conditioned soul will say, my dear Krishna, as long as things are going well in my life, I will worship you. When you throw challenges my way, it may shake my faith. I may no longer trust in you. Then I will go find some Babaji to go worship who will give some special benedictions or special mantra. So I will forget you, I will go there. Right? So that is the problem with the conditioned souls, is that they have a tendency to be merciful to Krishna as long as Krishna is quote unquote kind to them. And they have a tendency to tell the Lord, you're not very merciful because you're sending me so many troubles my way. That is the mood of a conditioned soul. Then when you think like that, then you know, oh, I have a long way to go. Because as long as things are going nicely, I'm happy, even in spiritual life. When challenges come, I think Krishna is not happy with me, therefore he's unkind to me, he's trying to teach me a lesson, why he's doing this to me, all these questions arise. So the impact of these three Shaktis, the Sandhani, Samvit and Hladini Shakti, on a conditioned soul versus a liberated soul is very, very different. It's experienced differently. That is why here in the purport, Prabhupada is saying, for a pure devotee, there is no difference between Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Even to the Lord, there is no difference between Yogamaya and Mahamaya. It is the level of your consciousness, your spiritual consciousness, that dictates whether you're experiencing Yogamaya or you're experiencing Mahamaya. So even a pure devotee doesn't distinguish between Yogamaya and Mahamaya. For them, it is all the energy of the Lord. The Lord can do whatever he wants with them. But they will not forget the Lord. They will not challenge the Lord as to what he is doing. So because they are completely dependent on the Lord. So whatever the Lord wants, he can do with them. So essentially here in this particular shloka, Lord Shiva is saying the conditioned souls are very disturbed by these various energy facets of the Lord. And therefore they see that, oh, the Shakti potency is different, the Lord is different. For a pure devotee, Shaktiman and Shakti are one and the same. And more importantly, even if the Lord comes as various avatars into this material world, he is always independent. He is never under the control of Maya Devi. Quite the opposite. He is always providing oversight to Durga Devi, instructing her on what she should do, etc. So this is the essence of this particular shloka. A little bit technical, but Lord Shiva is talking about the various energies of the Lord. Here specifically, the internal energy of the Lord, the external energy of the Lord, and the marginal energy of the Lord, which is the Jivatma.
If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell notification. If you'd like to join our classes every day, please check the details in the description section of this video. We look forward to serving you.